So a few weeks ago, I showed you guys my everyday carry, but today we're gonna be talking about my tech travel backpack. This is the stuff that I carry when I cover events. I need to bring my camera gear with me and obviously my editing laptop. But the bag of choice, and it always has been for literally past 5 years, is the Peak Design backpack. This is the everyday carry, the second version of it. I had the original one a long time ago, but I bought the second one maybe about 3 years ago. And this has always been a solid choice for me. Not only is this a very comfortable backpack to wear, I think it looks super classy. It's made very well. It has, water resistance on the front. So if, it's raining outside, your gear is not gonna get messed up. Just the layout alone is what I really appreciate. For example, you can use this big pocket to store stuff at the top, but you also have a bunch of hidden compartments inside. So a quick access pocket in the front, but if you open up the main back portion, you have space for a 16-inch laptop. And then if you move this flat back, you can put an iPad here. And then if you push this back even further, you have a spot for other knickknacks. I use this to store my pen, some batteries, chapstick, maybe some micro SD cards. It's a great way to use it. But the benefit of this bag is how you access it when you're on the run or when you're shooting video, for example. Because you don't have to open up the whole entire thing, you can just open up the sides. Both sides open up very graciously, and you just get quick access to your camera gear. So you have 3 different levels that you can store stuff on. Obviously, these are little straps that can be moved up and down if you want to hold your gear in a certain position, but you can play with it depending on the type of gear that you place inside. Now the earbuds are different this time because I partnered with Soundcore to showcase their new Liberty 4 noise canceling headphones. For $99, these are hands down the best sounding earbuds I have ever heard. The noise cancellation on these guys are 98.5%. That is absolutely insane. It works so well. I have an air conditioner in the office that is insanely loud and I cannot hear it at all when these headphones are in. It has 11mm drivers, very similar to the AirPod Pros. The sound quality is so good. There's even a Hear ID test you can take to get the sound to be specific to what you like the most. Obviously, there's different fit levels for earbuds. The software experience is good enough that you can basically fine tune or equalize the sound exactly how you want. It even supports LDAC. The LDAC, which is usually found only on Sony earbuds, is part of these, which is absolutely insane. But what really shocked me about these guys is the battery life, 10 hours of use before needing to charge. The case alone can provide an additional 40 hours of playback time, which is unbelievable. Very easy to open up. There's a nice little clicky button on the top. The earbuds have a stem. You can customize each tap on the right and left earbud to whatever you want, or you can use the default ones that they provide. Type-C charging on the bottom, and of course you can also wirelessly charge them. Now I don't carry a lot of chargers anymore, I just carry one. This is the Ugreen 140 watt GAN charger. I've showed this to you in my EDC, but I also carry it in my tech backpack. USB-A port, 2 Type-C ports, which means I can charge my laptop, my smartphone, my watch, all at the exact same time. I don't have to carry multiple chargers with me. Speaking of laptop, I am rocking the MacBook Pro 16 when it comes to actual video editing. This thing is an absolute monster when it comes to editing. The battery life is so good that I can literally sit in a cafe in Paris, edit all day, and not have to worry about charging it. That's how good this laptop is. The mini LED screen is absolutely gorgeous. The performance is way more than I need, and it's just been a really reliable laptop to use for editing all my videos. Now the camera that I use when I travel is the Sony a7 IV. I do have a Sony a7S III and a few other at the studio, but for traveling, I love this one the most, just because it's a good hybrid shooter. The megapixel count is high enough that I can retain a lot of data when I'm taking a photo, but the video quality on this is so close, almost identical to what the Sony a7S III can do, and it's even fantastic under low light. Plus, it doesn't cost as much as the others, so if something bad happens, it's a little bit cheaper to replace than some of the more expensive cameras that I use. But it's a solid device. It's been fantastic to use. It's not too heavy. I put a cage on it just so I can connect more things to it. I say I want to put a monitor and audio, that's not an issue. I have a little clamp over here so that when the HDMI cable is connected, it's not going to rip off. And then of course I have my bracket on the bottom so I can connect it to my tripod. The lens, I only carry one lens when I travel. I used to carry 2 or 3, but it's such a waste of space. just get a good lens that can do like 24-70, like this guy right here, and you're pretty much covering all your focal ranges. This is the Sony GM2 24-70. I used to have the original one, but this is just so much smaller. It's a little bit lighter and it takes up less space. Plus, the quality of this lens is a lot crispier than the original version. Obviously, I carry a bunch of SD cards and batteries for this camera. They're pretty standard size, so they work with all my Sony devices, but I usually carry about 2 to 3 batteries in my bag and I keep them charged all the time, so that this way I'm never down or need to charge my batteries when I'm on a shoot. Speaking of charging, I do have a MagSafe dual charger to charge my phone wirelessly and my watch at the exact same time. As you can see, I'm using the Apple Watch Ultra. This comes in very handy if I need to use my phone to take a picture or just do any sort of notification triage. Plus, I like to count my steps when I'm away. So having that battery life, the bigger display, plus accessibility to my phone using the watch, all kind of goes hand in hand. Now this is more of a hack for myself, but I carry a fanny pack. Actually, I wouldn't even call this a fanny pack. This is more of like a shoulder bag, maybe a merce. Either way, I'm very comfortable with my sexuality, okay? And I can pull this off and still look manly. But this is a good idea if you travel to foreign countries and you want to keep your valuable items safe, because you'll wear this on you, it'll be in front of you, it'll be harder for people to get into it because there's zippers as opposed to someone slipping into your pocket. Plus, sometimes when I'm running and gunning, I need to access certain things very quickly, and having this on me, right in front of me, is a lot more accessible than taking off my bag and searching through the entire thing. It's a product by BELLROY. It is very well made. It looks a little orange inside, so it kind of gives you a good contrast when you're looking for certain items. Tons of pockets, zippers and zippers. You can pretty much carry a lot of stuff in here that you might need throughout your day. I also carry a tiny little mouse, which I showed you in my EDC video. This is the RAZER Pro Click Mini. I switched from the Logitech G305, which broke down on me more recently. I just prefer the size of this. It's smaller, it takes up less space. It has both Bluetooth and a dongle, so the best of both worlds. And it's still heavy enough that it feels like a proper, good solid mouse to use. Cable, long USB Type-C cable for the U-Green charger. This is very important if I'm very far away from an outlet. This will give me the length to connect my laptop or charge my devices. Always carry a long USB Type-C cable. Now the monitor is from ATOMOS. This is the SHINOBI. This is a general monitor, doesn't record anything. It's just so that I can see whatever I'm looking at on a bigger display so that I don't mess anything up. You know, it has everything you need, like focus peaking, zebras, you can install LUTs on this. It's just a very solid monitor. The battery on this lasts forever. I literally sometimes take 2 batteries with me and never use the other one because these things just last forever, especially because I'm not recording anything to the monitor. It just lasts a very, very long time. A flexible HDMI cable so I can attach it to my monitor but still have enough, you know, room that I can rotate it 360 degrees. And there's a little SD card slot on the right-hand side if I want to install my own personal LUTs to see what the footage looks like before I install it on my computer. Now I do carry a separate bag for like cables and SD cards and a bunch of other stuff. This is a pouch from a company called Side by Side. I've always loved this product. I've had it for about 6 years now, maybe. I don't even know if they still exist, but it's just been so good. The material is super stretchy, so you can expand it quite a bit. There's a bunch of different pockets. So in this one back here, I'll keep an extra lav microphone. And then on the front pocket, you have a slew of different spaces to carry stuff. So cables, I got my MacBook Pro cable, HDMI cable, headphones if I need to like monitor my audio, SIM tool if I need to swap a SIM card, an extra lav mic over here. Actually, I think I have 2 lav mics in here. Tissue paper, this is to clean the camera lens. I also have a 3.5mm to XLR cable, which I probably will never use. And then I have another receiver in the back of here, again, if my main microphone decides to cop out. But the main microphone I'm using right now is from DJI. This may not have the same microphone quality as what I used to use when I traveled, but I mean, look at this. You know, it's all in a tiny little box. It's so cute. It's easy to carry. It's always charged because this is an actual case that charges the microphones whenever you put them in. And you get 2 receivers, or sorry, 2 transceivers, and then you have your receiver in the middle. So I can literally do a conversation with somebody else and I don't have to like get a second lav mic. I just give them this. They can use the magnet on the back of here to clip it to their shirt. And it even comes with a little bag that has like a USB Type-C cable and some wind fluffers, or dead cats rather, to reduce any wind noise if you're outdoors and you're having a conversation. I also carry an Android phone, so whenever I travel, I've started carrying the Sony Xperia Mark IV, not because of its great photography. This is the older one. The camera on this guy is not that great, but what I love it for is if I need a backup device, if my main device goes down, and it also can be used as a monitor. So if my battery dies, I can always pull out this phone, put it on the actual camera, have a backup monitor to use in case the main one stops working. Speaking of my main phone, I'm obviously carrying an iPhone 14 Pro Max in a Later case. It's been solid so far. Battery life has been fantastic, super reliable, no major complaints here. I just like carrying a bigger device for the bigger battery. Personally, I prefer the size of the smaller one, but when I travel, I'd rather have the bigger one on me. I also carry a tiny little screwdriver. This has come in handy many times when I need to attach or detach things from my camera. I also carry, or not always carry, but sometimes I'll bring a tripod with me. And if I do, it's this tiny one. It's from Manfrotto. It's called the BEFREE. It's been around for a very long time. I'll be honest with you, it's not the most secure tripod, but it's good enough that it'll hold the camera and I can do simple movements with this fluid head. This fluid head happens to be from BELLROY that I took off my monopod that I used to use back in the day. And I'll also carry an iPad mini for the plane, which I forgot at home, but sometimes I'll carry a gaming device. So right now it's the Nintendo Switch because I'm playing Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, but sometimes I'll carry a Steam Deck if I'm playing something else. So that pretty much wraps up everything that I carry when I travel to a different country and it requires me to shoot any form of video. The goal every time I travel is to lighten the load or make the load as small as possible, because once you start carrying too much and you carry too much gear, it just gets in the way. You want to keep things simple. You want to be able to get your camera out and just shoot right away, get the job done without having too many annoyances in your bag that kind of prevents you from doing it faster. If you're interested in any of these items, along with the Soundcore Liberty 4 NC earbuds, I'll place links in the description down below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.